Listen, we are back with God's instruction for good offer. I am so excited to be here today. If you know, you know. Listen, you have to be prepared whenever you are doing something new in your business for the unexpected. So I'm so grateful for our community for rolling with it. This is going to be an impeccable lesson. I'm super duper excited to be here, and excited does not really cover it. So I was mentioning before, and I'm going to say it again, having a YouTube channel has been on the list for a very long time, but it has been something that I have put off and pushed off because I felt like it just needed to be perfect. I need the perfect light and I need this. Y'all know how people be having the little lights in the background and they be doing a little situation and they thing and all of those extras and additionals. And I talked myself out of having this channel for so long, but I knew that this was the venue that we wanted to be on. So when we had this series to come out, the Good to Sell series, I said, we are going to do this on YouTube. And of course, that comes with learning a new platform, learning where buttons are, learning new spaces, and I'm willing to do it. So, welcome to my YouTube channel, everyone. I am so grateful to have you here. Make sure that you like and subscribe, like my daughter says. And I'm grateful to be in a position today to deliver you a message that, make no mistake, while we're going to do it in a playful, we're going to have fun while we do it. We're going to get loose while we absolutely going to change your business. So go ahead and get ready for that. So we are starting today with God's instruction for good offers. I'm trying to give everybody the opportunity to come into the room before I start my intro, because if you know my intro, I don't play about that thing. It's going to lay the foundation for where we're going next. So again, thank you all for being in this space. I'm really, really grateful for you all. Stevie, welcome. Sunny, welcome. Coach D, welcome. Team 40 is in the house. Jacqueline, I'm so glad to have you here. Larisha, I'm so glad to have you here. Coach Joe, I'm glad to have you here. Aisha, I'm glad to have you here. Y'all, do me a big one. This is a moment. This is the first time we are going to be on YouTube live stream together as a community. Take a screenshot of the video for me. Make sure that we mark this moment because this is huge to me and I'm learning to celebrate my first. And this is an impeccable first. So I remember when I started my business, and I used to use and do live streams because I wanted to share with others, right? But there was a time where when I did it, there was nobody that showed up for it. And I talked to that room and I would speak as if there were 100 people showing up. And it just feels good to start something new, but not be a beginner. I'm going to say it again. Oh my God. It feels good to start something new and not be a beginner. Y'all don't know because some of y'all are afraid to do the new thing and you're scared to take the step that you should have been stepped and taken because you're afraid of doing that new. But you have to remember that you're not going to be a beginner when you do it. I think that Sarah Jakes preached a message about that a little while ago, maybe a couple years ago. But I'm going to tell you, I'm pausing for my picture. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when you have laid a foundation, when you have built a community like we have, we are always in good company. So I'm really, really grateful and granted that you are here. Now I'm gonna tell you, you gonna get what you bargained for. Okay, you're gonna get what you bargained for. Um, so you're going to have a good time. You are by no mistake going to hear something today that is going to change the way you are interacting with your business. And you're going to have a new thought today that is going to unlock new money in your business. So I am here on assignment. While I am very, very excited for my own accomplishment right now, I am even more excited about what this accomplishment means for your business and for your life. I am going to say this. I need a member of Team 40 to grab the share link that is on this video and update the post that just went out in Black Women Sale, because I made a post in advance so that people would know where we are in the room. The event has already been updated. But with that being said, let's go ahead and start. Y'all know what to do. Go ahead and type in ready to receive, ready to receive, ready to receive, because I'm ready to deliver. We are going to jump into God's instructions for good offers. So we're jumping into God's instructions for good offers. So when I was getting my degree, at the same time, I was working 3 jobs, and baby, that thing was brutal. Okay. That thing was brutal. I had one job that was my moneymaker. That job was delivering pizza. I delivered pizza at one of the largest pizza delivery spots on the East Coast because I was at a very thriving naval base in Virginia Beach. and in Norfolk. So it was a lot of traffic and I made a whole lot of money. They used to call me Little Pepperoni. Okay. So I had one job that was my money maker. Now I had another job that was my passion filler. So my passion filler was me managing a Black owned spa. I managed a Black owned day spa. You know, from the time I came out of high school, I worked at day spas. But when I was in college, I also managed one in Virginia Beach. And then I had one future creator. So I had one future creator. This was at the research center. And at that research center, I learned some pretty important lessons. But one of the greatest lessons I learned was how to get support and funding for my ideas. Okay, for my projects, the things that I wanted to come into the world. I learned how to do that in that space because not every project that wanted to come from that space got greenlit. It was a very competitive space, and it was a space that was very, very structured. So there were two qualifications in that space for funding for your ideas, for funding for research projects, for funding for thought expansion. And I didn't fight those two qualifications. I didn't cry about it. I didn't want about, oh, it's not fair. Y'all won't give me the funding that I want. I just have these amazing ideas. What I did was I recognized that it was not my lab. It wasn't my lab. So if I wanted to succeed, I have to follow the rules. So I told you there were two main rules that would cause me to be able to get the attention that I wanted, to cause me to get support for my ideas. And that very first rule was precedence. Y'all say with me, precedence, not president, but precedence. Okay. So precedence was that first rule that was set for us that we knew was the expectation so that we could get funding. So that essentially meant that all work coming from the lab had to build on the work of our leading professor. So our leading professor was in industrial psychology. They did a lot of work. If y'all from the Hampton Roads area, my leading professor did the work on life in Hampton Roads. And whatever we did had to be built on their precedent. So shout out to Old Dominion University where I got my degree in psychology. So you know that when I'm showing up and I'm teaching you and helping you in that area, it's not just coming from nowhere. It has been structured. And from the time that I started working at ODU, I found myself in a research lab. Or from the time I started at ODU, I found myself in a research lab. So the first rule was precedence. If y'all know how to spell it, type it in the chat. You actually should be writing it down because you're going to need this later. Trust me. The second rule was so contribution was our second rule. And what that essentially meant was you could not just keep reworking old ideas. Okay. You could not keep reworking old ideas. You had to create discovery. Okay. You had to create discovery. You had to take our area of focus one step further. If you were not leaning into precedence or if you were not going into a contributing force that would add an idea, then baby, you were not getting funded. It didn't matter how much who you knew, it didn't matter how much you cried. If you were not going to do it, the way they said to do it, then you are not going to get that funding. And it's mighty, mighty funny. Okay. It's funny that these two requirements showed up for me in this research lab. I think it's funny at least, but they actually show up for all of us. Okay. They show up for all of us. And they showed up for us in the beginning. Hence the title of this lesson, God's instruction for good offers. God's instructions for good offers. So today's lesson, God's instructions for good offers, is going to lay the foundation for us so that we don't have to worry about why we don't have money or where money is going to come from in our business because the precedence has already been set for us to earn. If we follow the rules and we follow the laws, we don't have to question and we do not have to cry. Now, I think a lot of us are responding to our environment with an emotional approach because we don't understand the laws that have been set in the beginning. But if we learn how to follow them, we don't have to fight them. Isn't it great that we don't have to make things up? Isn't it great that we get to follow a roadmap? I like that when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to teach myself how to breathe. I like when I wake up in the morning, I don't have to recreate rules and systems that were already designed for me in the beginning. All I have to do is follow it. All you have to do is follow it. Type into the chat, follow it if you hear what I'm saying and you understand. So, if you follow what I teach you today, what's going to happen is you're going to unlock the door to God-led multiplication by the rules that have already been established for us. And this is a door that no man, not even you, can close once it is activated. Okay. So you must follow the principles. And if you can get the principles, most people don't like the principles, okay? They want the extra, they want the over and beyond. They want to see the expansion before they actually get the principle. But I live inside of the principles and the fundamentals because I understand that if I follow the principles and the fundamentals, that is going to be my foolproof pathway to getting what I desire from my environment. And who knows my environment better than the one who created it? Who can predict what is going to happen in my environment more than the person that is the author of this environment, the creator of this environment? So that's why we are rooting ourselves in the beginning of this lesson the way we are. Okay. So if this is your first time being in this space, I don't want it to be your last. So let me go ahead and give you an introduction that is going to let you know who I am. My name is Bria Hash. I am a sales strategist to many people in this room. So whether you're in Black Women Sales Academy, or if you've been in Born to Sell in the past, or you've been in Materialize It, or you're just a part of our biz fam, you know I have acted as your resident sales strategist because I want you to unlock the doors to your money, the money that has been assigned to you. And I'm here to bless your beliefs, your behaviors, and your bank account. I am here to bless your beliefs, your behaviors, and your bank account. Now, this is a special day for us. So I'm really grateful, so grateful to be in this space. First of all, because this is our first YouTube stream. So this is our first YouTube stream, and this has been a long time coming, y'all. It's been years in the making for us to get to this point. So I'm really grateful to be here. But second of all, I'm doing something that I haven't done in a really, really long time. So many of you know, Born to Sell, our offer intensive, is coming back. It's actually here. Okay. So we start in January, and I don't know if y'all counting the days, but baby, December is winding up. We are going to be going right back into our offer intensive, where we are going to help you to create your purposeful and your profitable offer. Okay. Now, we're not just going to do it with you, we're going to do it for you. So essentially, what we are going to do inside of this space is we're going to build that purposeful and profitable offer for you so that you go from shaky to sure. Because how many of you would like to get to business? How many of you can acknowledge that in your life, in your business, in your walk, you are so sick and tired of going back and forth with offers that you think are the offer, or halfway baking an offer that needs to be expanded in multiple ways so that you can tap into your money? We have the Born to Sell offer intensive every year so that we can work with you one on one to push your offer that you were born to sell into this world. So there is something that only you can produce. And if you know that you are that person that is skilled, you're qualified, you're experienced, you have a heart for service, but you need your offer to match everything that you know you are, you should consider joining us inside of the Born to Sell offer intensive. We start on January 20th. Some spots have already been taken, but I want to meet with you. So if you are coming into that space, you're saying, Bria, I want to join you in the Born to Sell offer intensive, and I want to have a spot in that space. Don't leave me behind. I want to meet with you now so we can get a head start on understanding one another. Because what will happen when you come into that space is we're going to spend 6 weeks together so that you can build your best offer. And before you leave that space, I'm going to then come in, revise it, and build it out for you. I'm going to give you a complete offer build out with features, benefits, price point, your unique selling points, your highest aligned client, making sure that it's so clear for you so that when you go back into the marketplace, you are absolutely sure about what you are doing. Now, it typically costs $5,000 to $30,000 to work with me individually, but when you come into that space, it is reserved for those of you that can come in at an entry point of just $1,500. So if you're serious about joining us in that space, and you know that space is yours, and you're saying, I'm claiming it, Bria, this is going to be my year. I'm not going to use my entire year in 2025 trying to figure out my offer, but I'm going to enter 2025 clear, sure, and ready to go. There is a link that has been posted so that you can join us in that space. And let me make sure that it is here. It should be pinned to the top. So if you're ready to join us in Born to Sell, I want to meet with you first so that I can get to know you, so that I can understand you, so that we can build a relationship, so that we can work together really well in that space. So you can join us there. Somebody's asked, do I do payment plans? Absolutely. I'm not keeping anybody out of that space. That should be in there. So when you sign up for that call, it's going to give you an option. If you want to pay in full, you can. And if you listen, be my guest. But if you need a payment plan, you'll be able to distinguish that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get started with our lesson. For those of you that are joining me there, oh, let me say this real quick before I move on. There are not many spots there. So the spots that you will see available are for tomorrow. So if you are serious about joining Born to Sell, and you'll see a link there that will tell you how to go look at the program and all the things, please book your spot. If this is not the right opportunity for you, please do not come onto the calendar and kick somebody off who really needs to be in that seat, because these calls are distinctly for us to get to know each other as you come into that program, so that we can work closely, we can work quickly, and we can get you the most results. So I would love to talk to every single person in this room if I had more hours in a day, but y'all know we got to use our time as our resource. So join us in those good to sell calls so I can learn about your offer and what's good to sell for you. So we are starting here so that we are clear about what is good. Okay, what is good? And what is good all started in the beginning. In the beginning. And I'm going to Genesis 1 and 1. Now, my people who know how I do, once I start reading from the Bible, you're supposed to send out a what? Read. Okay? Read, because we're going to start in the beginning. I'm not making a thing up. We're going to start here and we're going to build this thing out. So y'all go ahead and type to the chat. Read. All right. So I'm coming from Genesis 1 and 1. I don't really like the New International Version, but that's the one that came up right now. I'm going to go ahead and read this thing out so you can see how this thing sounds. All right. So Genesis 1 and 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Okay. I like to read from the King James so I can get that word void. I like the void word. It just feels robust to me. All right. So that was verses 1 and 2. Now, when we get to verse 3, it says something very interesting. So in verse 3, it says, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. In verse 4, it says, God saw that the light was good. And what happens next? He separates the light from the darkness. But that is the first introduction of the word good. Okay. So that is the first introduction of the word good. Now, let me tell you what was happening. So in verse 1, 2, and 3, we had the foundation being created, which is our what? Precedence. So there's always a foundation, there's always a precedence that is going to require a response. We have our environment being created. We have the void, which is our space being created. We have the deep, our water. We have the land, the earth that is being created at that time. That is the foundation, which is our precedence. And then something happens, and God said, let there be light. And what happened with that light? I don't know if y'all ever notice what light does, but if you have a dark space and a small light, that light will then begin to fill that space. Okay. Light will begin to fill. You can't contain light. Okay. You can't hold it in a box. It is nothing you can do to keep light in one space. If you got, listen, I don't know why I'm thinking about this right now, but when I was a teenager, there was a certain time where I had to turn my phone off. Y'all remember those days? We didn't just get our phone 24 hours a day. There was a certain time where I had to turn my phone off, and my room was supposed to be dark, right? So my parental system will be looking to see, is there light shining up under this door? Because I could be under my, I don't know how my mama knew. I don't know how my uncle knew. But baby, I used to be under my covers on my BlackBerry, hitting the buttons and doing the things and chatting and doing all of the things that I shouldn't have been doing at that point in time. But the light would escape my hands. It would escape I couldn't keep it, because wherever there is darkness, light will seek it out and consume it. Okay, I'm just letting you know the nature of light, how powerful light is, and why it even was deemed good when it was made, because it is designed to fill the space. It is designed to become a contribution. So we got this container, we have earth, we have our environment, we have land, we have water. But as soon as light is introduced to the space, that is the first time we hear mention, and it was good. So what's good is always connected to an improvement on a foundation, because imagine having all of this beauty but not being able to see it. Imagine being here on earth and not having any light system that was going to fuel growth or micro organisms or plants Look, we got a plant back here. That would not have been possible without light. Okay. It would not have been possible without light. So, what I need you all to understand about yourself, about your business, about your offer is that what is good is always connected to improvement. Okay. We got a pretty awesome thing, right? We have a void, space, the planets, we have Earth, a system that has water and land, but it's not said because the Bible could say in the beginning God created the heavens and earth and it was good. Now the earth was formless, empty darkness, and over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, and it was good. It could have been written like that if we really wanted it to. But the things that will proceed from this moment are going to be deemed good because they are contributors. They are fillers of the foundation. So the cup is there, and what is filling the cup is being what is qualified as good, because what is good is always connected to an improvement on a design. Okay, are we all clear? Are we on the same page? Are we walking like we talking? We moving together? Everybody, listen, if your ship got stuck at the dock, let me know because we get ready to move through this thing. And if you're not ready, then baby, you're gonna have a problem. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. You will not be granted a reward if you're copying instead of contributing. So a lot of us join the business space, and by nature, we begin observing what others are doing that seem like it's good, that seem like it's amazing, that seem like it's miraculous, right? But we don't recognize that to contribute means to add to take a step forward. Just like in my research lab, I was not going to be honored if I bought the same good idea that already been ideated. You take that word, okay? I did. Ha. If I would have bought the same idea, there was going to be no funding for me because why would there be funding for me? Why would there be resources gotten for me? Because we already went to that frontier. It's already been done, pumpkin. So you're looking for your money and you're praying for breakthroughs and you want God to show up for you. Oh, just help me and I'm just trying to just da 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 da. And what you're aiming for is the same thing that has already been done. God has already distributed the resources for that breakthrough. God has already created provision for that outcome. It's already been done. So that brings me to my first point. Yeah, we just got to the first point because the intro be introing and be introing and this intro. Okay. So the first point is do not pray for more money. Use your offers to exchange as value and improve on your environment. Where my problem solvers at? We're my people who can see something that ain't right and say, I'm going to make it right. We're my people that thrive in environments where there may be issues showing up because you are just a natural problem solver. I would love to speak to you today. I would love to get you connected to your money today. I would love to help you to mobilize your mission today. I would love to partner with you in thought today so that we can get you some money, right? So we should not be praying for more money. I'm not saying not to pray. We should all be praying. We should all be aligning our bodies and our thoughts with the highest for us. We should be praying, but don't waste the time. What Glorilla said, don't hold up the line. Lord, I'm sorry for holding up the line again. I am sorry for holding up the line again for something you have already delivered, released, giving me permission, giving me authority, allow for me to walk forward with. I'm not going to keep on praying about the same thing that you've already been given a good idea about, but you just chose not to take it there. You wanted to take a step. You didn't want to take the steps that were ordered for you. So do not pray for more money. Improve on your environment. Use your offers to improve on your environment. The question you should be asking yourself right now, if you want to get connected to your money, is how am I filling my environment? Y'all, I can't help but to tell my business. But there's just something that happens when you know that you're studied, when you're proven, when you're proficient in an area, there's an area of comfort that you begin to lull in where you just feel like you know what you do without recognizing that there's yet a new horizon for you. And every single time I'm climbing a mountain and the mountain is hard, and then I get to the mountaintop and I look back down, I say, whoa, that wasn't that difficult as I thought. And now I'm gonna tell everybody about the mountain that I just climbed. Every single time that happens to me, when I look over, there's always another peak. And I recognize, girl, you better fuel up. You better get ready because there's another mountain waiting on for you. And I don't always rush to my next mountain. I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I take a little bit of a reprieve and I say, Lord, I see it. Bria, I see it. Self, I see it. But I'm not necessarily rushing to get over there because I just need a little bit of a break. But baby, you got to know, just like I know, that there is always another horizon. There's always another improvement. I'm not just comfortable and complacent being in the sales space and saying that I'm speaking to Black women and I'm gonna help Black women to get connected to that money without actually establishing what I'm supposed to establish in this space, because I recognize that if I want my money is going to be connected to my next step. It's going to be connected to my breakthrough. Is going to be, I'm trying not to use the word that's in my next point because I always move to my next point before I get to the point, and I do not want to do that today. So the question is, how am I feeling my environment? How am I feeling my environment? Now, your environment is going to equal your area of expertise. Okay? Your environment. I said, how are you feeling? How am I feeling my environment? We all have been called to corners and environments. I have not been called to your corner in your environment. I can't sew. I have not been called to your corner in your environment. I can't bake. I have not been called to your corner in your environment. I cannot do what you do, but I have been called to my corner and my environment, and that environment equals my area of expertise. That's why when we get into Born to Sell, you're going to see how much we pay attention to your unique giftings, your unique skill set, your unique perspectives. That's what we want to be getting into because that is your environment and you've been called to that environment so that you can improve on it. You trying to figure out why everybody else don't see it the way you do, why everybody else ain't so passionate as you are, why everybody else just willing to rock themselves to sleep in the space, because it's not their area of excellence. They're not sent to improve on it, but you are. So my first point was, do not pray for more money. Use your offers to exchange as value and improve on your environment. My second point of today is to see what's working and innovate. See what's working and innovate. Innovation is where precedence and contribution cross. Hear me when I say this. Innovation is the area where precedence, what was established, and contribution cross. There is no innovation without the foundation. And a lot of people who like to create new things sometimes forget that there has to be a foundation that they're building on in order get to the contribution that will create the innovation. But you have to understand that this is an established activity. So when you see what's working and you approve and you allow that precedence and that contribution to cover itself, you will begin to move into innovation. Innovation means to take a step further. If the first step wasn't taken, then it's not innovation. It will be creation. And what do we know? That there is nothing new under the sun. There is co creation and expansion at this point. So, innovation is where we should be airing with our offers. Y'all don't get lost in the sauce and think that this is just an emotional conversation. This is a very tactical conversation that you should be taking back to your business. You should be asking yourself, how am I feeling my environment? How am I innovating? How am I taking it a step further? Because if you're looking for your money, you are going to find it there. So, I got a couple examples for you. We got Airbnb, okay? We got Airbnb that innovated the hotel space. We got Uber that or Lyft that innovated the taxi space, because I don't have brand alliance to any of them, but they certainly did innovate. They certainly did innovate. We got the iPhone that innovated the handheld computer. All of these companies have profited handsomely. They profited handsomely from their innovations. But Steve Jobs didn't make the first cell phone. We are clear on this, right? Uber didn't make the first first taxi, the first car. Airbnb don't even own no hotels. But because they innovated, they contributed something that didn't exist. They took the environment further than it was before, and therefore compensation was unlocked because of their actions. So let me go ahead and move forward with this thing. But before I move on, I got to tell y'all a little bit about me, because y'all know I don't believe in speaking from the mountaintop without willing to get into the valley with you, without being willing to get into the valley with you. So I need you to hear me clearly. And we listen and we don't judge. Okay? We listen and we don't judge. So, in the past, this is the old me, not the one you see today, but in the past, I used to get caught in my ego. Okay? I used to get caught in in the past, the old me. And listen, you don't know me. A lot changes in 2 weeks. You don't know my life. You don't know how I've been consecrating myself. You don't know how I've been affirming myself. You don't know how I've been reconditioning my thought. You don't know me like you think you know me. Okay? Like, listen, it's new over here. Brand new. So, in the past, I used to get caught in my ego. I used to say things like, I don't have competitors. I don't, ain't nobody doing what I'm doing. So I don't have competitors. Okay? I'm staying off the internet. I don't want to be inspired by anybody. I do my own thing. Every campaign we come out with, it's my own thing. I don't listen. I even got to give myself that voice, because why was she like that? Let me tell you something. When I had that mindset, when I had that behavioral pattern, when I had that value alignment, I got smoked in business every year. Every year. I got smoked. I did a lot of work, a lot of creating from scratch, a lot of formalizing. I did a lot. And I'm not saying that there is not space for originality, because baby, there is. That's in the area of your innovation. But if you're not looking, you cannot see what's working. And there is wisdom in not making the mistakes of the past. There is wisdom in being able to see one's own environment and say, you know what? That's not working over there. So let me go ahead and skip that part that they already figured out did not work, and let me move forward from that. Listen, in this, I want to say you must study to show yourself approved. You should be an expert at your industry, even an expert at your competitors. I'm not saying you got to eat it from breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not saying you got to consume your thoughts with them, but I am saying that you must understand what is working and innovate on that so that you can move forward. Why? Because you got to move forward so that you can contribute innovation. You got to move forward so that you can trigger contribution. If you're doing the same thing that's already been done, once again, the resources have already been distributed for that. You got to bring something new to your industry and to your space. I'm going to give you an example of this with Born to Sell, because clearly I'm not done, just pulling the curtain back on my business. I'm going to give you an example of this with Born to Sell. So once again, Born to Sell has risen to be one of our most valuable products by innovating what's already in the market. So, are there other spaces that focus on offer creation? Absolutely. But what I started to notice was that there were two different camps in the business and offer creation space. One of the camps was very, very rigid. It was cold. It was very tactical. Um, it didn't consider people, and it certainly did not consider God. Now, I don't even need to associate a color with it. I don't need to associate traits of leaders with it. I'm just going to tell you that just simply the offer was cold, and it was tactical, and it was very, very robotic. And I recognize, wait a minute, what about the soulful people? What about the people who do not resonate with the thought process of just put your head down and work in a business that you hate? What about the people who actually believe that their business is a vehicle to their purpose? What are they doing? Where are they going? How are they acting? How are they operating? And there was this other side, because I gave you the cold side, right? Then there was this other side. That other side was way too spiritual. I I'm sorry. I know we got sell with soul. I know we got born to sell. I know we ready to receive. I know we got materialize it. I know we got all these spaces, but baby, when I started to observe the marketplace and I recognized that the offering product of those spiritual spaces was emotional manipulation and nothing that had to do with you could use tangibly in business, I said, oh no, we got to fix this. Because we got a lot of people that have been emotionally jerked around, but if you ask them how can they sell their offer by the end of the day, they don't know how. If they're in a financial predicament, they cannot even leverage the asset that they were supposed to have been creating for the last 6 months so that they can then turn it into revenue that they brought into their business, into their life. We can't have that. Okay. We're not gonna do that. So Born to Sell began to innovate in the space because it was literally, remember I told you that cross of precedence, because what's precedence in the business space is cold and tactical, right? And then we started contributing the spiritual aspect. Listen, you can have a brilliant business that is driven by your purpose and your reason for being on earth, and you don't have to compromise money. You can work in your purpose and you can still be firm with your business boundaries. You can work in your purpose and be in your full alignment and offer a fantastic deliverable to your audience that they can feel, they can touch, they can smell, they can see the value in. When we started to innovate in that space and started crossbreeding that precedence and contribution, I'm telling you right now, it was a gold mine. It was a gold mine. And we've run Born to Sell for probably the last 3 years consistently. And I'm so grateful that we did. I'm so grateful that I followed the law. I'm so grateful that I found my space to innovate. I'm so grateful that we said we're going to contribute to this space in this way. We're not going to remake the space. We're not going to act like nobody's offering offer creation. We're just going to offer to our community the thing that they've been wanting and yearning for because they knew it was a better way. And there is a group that observes you inside of your community, inside of your available audience, even if you have not connected with them yet, even if you have not tapped into them yet, they're waiting for you to show up. And that's where your money is going to be because your money is in the hands of human beings. And until your offer becomes readily valuable to them, readily relevant to them, they go keep doing what they're doing until your offer shows up different in an innovative and contributing way. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. They need you to take it a step further. So, Born to Sell is breaking the mold. It's intersecting what we need. And this really created what we're going to call contributing value. Everybody put that into the chat because I'm about to teach you about contributing value now. Okay. Contributing value is very, very important. It is the tangible form, our tangible value experienced by others. Contributing value is extremely important to us. Why? Contributing value triggers compensation. So if you understand the laws of compensation or the law of compensation, you will understand that you are compensated according to your contribution. If you are looking to contribute, you got to focus on your contributing value. Okay. So there are 4 levels of your unique contributing value. You're probably going to want to write this down. My third point is to trigger these. You want to trigger these 4 levels of unique contributing value. So today, when you look at your offer, when you look at your business, when you're looking at the thing that you want to sell the most, you need to look and say, okay, how can I trigger contributing value with these 4 levels in my offer now? If you apply one of these things, your business is going to get better. If you apply 2 of these things, you're going to be in the money. If you take it and you apply 4 of these things, what you're going to see is total alignment. And that's what we're actually targeting, total alignment. So, yes, I am a sales strategist, but I don't want you to just be making money that does not align with your spirit. I need you to know that there is a reality that we live in currently where you can be in total alignment with your spirit, total alignment with your purpose, complete your soul's purpose while you're here on earth, and earn a lot of money while you do it, while serving others. There is no, you don't have to exchange. And some of y'all are in this space and you have this energy where you believe you have to exchange, where you believe that you're harming somebody else by winning at your business. And I need to be very, very clear that good people deserve to do well. Okay. That's why I'm doing this series in the beginning because, or in the first place, because I know that good people deserve to do well in business. You deserve to do good and be well in your business. That means that as you do good for others, you should have a healthy flow of revenue coming back into your business and into your life. You should. That is the correct response. But if you only know how to be good, but not how to be well, if you don't know how to pull the levers and the triggers in your business, if you don't know how to structure your business tactically so that as you say yes to your calling, as you say yes to your spirit, as you say yes to your purpose, as you say, I'm going to do things that nobody else can do because I understand that I am a supply to a demand here on earth, then you're going to forfeit or relinquish your right to earning. And you were born to do this. But some of you have to learn how to do this. Some of you have to learn the offer creation part of it. Some of you have to learn the business structural part of it. And when you learn that part, it's going to give you the freedom and the liberty to actually express the way you were designed to express. So let's go ahead and move over the 4 levels of unique contributing value. If you're ready for it, go ahead and type into the chat. Ready. I just like to see. I like to see feedback. Our 4 levels of unique contributing value. So the first level is going to be our gifts. It's going to be our gifts. This is going to operate in an innate space. So innate means you are born with it. Nobody installed you with it. You came installed with it. So when we're looking for a unique contribution, we've already connected our contribution to our compensation. So as we activate each of these levels are going to give us access to more and more money that again belongs to us. This money belongs to us. The more we become of ourselves, the more money we will see in response to ourselves. I need y'all to hear me because some of you are so focused on cosplaying as somebody else. Your goal every single day in your business and in your life is to become more of you. Every single second that you get as you, your goal is to become more of you. Then what you will see is a proper and appropriate response to you resonating as only you can. So that's why on our first level we have our gifts cuz can't nobody give it to you. There are some things where you look at people and you just be like, "Dang, they gifted." I wish I could do that like them. They be dancing, moving, playing instruments, dressing, and showing up creatively, or they're analytical and they can organize things, and their leadership is just on par, and their sensory systems are just sensory and systemed. And you're just looking at them and you're like, shoot, like you just got it. Imagine having all that goodness bottled up in you that somebody else can see and you disregarding it as if it's not your first level of contributing value. But what happens when we are in the world? What happens when we're put in spaces that are designed to smother our difference makers is that we forget our God given gifts. We forget them. And when we forget them, we can't activate them so that they make room for us. We can't activate them when it's time to make money. You spent 35 years trying to suppress that gift. Don't expect for that thing to show up in its fullness when you need it to. We have to remember. That's why it's our first step as well of the Born to Sell experience. Remembering your God given gifts is everything. That's why I don't just come into your life and say, you know what, I'm about to make you an offer. I don't do that. That will be out of alignment with the because you don't understand the manual. You can't get in the car and turn the key. You don't understand this push start. You don't understand the car already started from your phone. You don't get it. You looking around and you waiting for another cue or another clue from me because you didn't actually remember your God-given gifts. This experience, just in case you don't understand what's happening in Born to Sell, is a very spiritual experience. You cannot leave that environment the same way you came. Larisha is going through it for what, the 4th time? And I listen, Larisha, girl, listen, as many times as you would like, okay? As many times as you would like show up in the space. I'm telling you, every single time our community gets ready for an upgrade, they get ready to go to their next level of value. They get ready to see more money in their business. They recognize, let me trigger Born to Sell because there's something more to get. You left it on the table. And now that you can see the things that you didn't know before, you're ready to go to the next level with your gift. So I'm going to say it again. Our first level of contributing value are our gifts. This is our unique, excuse me, innate, not just unique, our innate gifting. It was given to us and we came with it. My child came with gifts I couldn't even try to give her. But what I can do is I can nurture what she was given. The second level is skills. The second level is skills. These are the things that we've learned and we've earned. When it comes to your offer, you want your skills applied and expressed to your offer. Let me tell you something. What we find when we begin working with people in the Born to Sell experience is that the skills that a lot of us got in places we didn't want to get them in become disregarded over time. So we make them secondary skill set instead of primary skill set, and we undervalue ourselves in the marketplace instead of sharpening what we were supposed to be sharpening the entire time. Okay. So sometimes you get a little job, right? And then you have a bad experience and the boss don't treat you right, but you spent 8 years at that job. And in that job, you knew you could do the job better than everybody else. And maybe they didn't value you, but that doesn't mean that's not your value. I need y'all to hear me. It's important that we don't leave our gifts and our skills in spaces just because we were stunted in those spaces. It's still our job to go pick up our gifts and our skills on our level 1 and our level 2, so that when we present ourselves to the marketplace, that we present ourselves in our fullness. When we show up in the marketplace, our light should shine so bright that it's blinding, okay? And that the people that are called to our warmth want to be near us. They want to be in our orbit. They got to have our stuff. I don't care if we talking about bath bombs. I don't care if we talking about baby making. I don't care what we talking about. I don't care if we talking about I don't care what you do. Okay? You better make sure that you have integrated your skills, that second level, into your offer so that you have your contributing value rise. Remember, I said if you apply one, you doing all right. If you apply two, oh, you doing handsome. And our third one is perspective. So we got our gifts. Gifts are down here. This is our foundation. Our skills is what we've learned and we've earned over time. Our next one is our perspective. Our perspective. So don't you know that your perspective is really what makes you different in a marketplace? How you see things differently than others, how you look at natural hair differently than others, how you see legal work different than others, how you see medical work different than others. And that is nurtured by your environment. So your perspective is often nurtured by your environment. And some of us have been in an environment, we were raised in an environment and we detest that environment. Are we raised in an environment we can't wait to get away from that environment? And baby, that environment was shaping your perspective so that you could be useful today. So that you could be useful today. Our last level is our preferences. So we got at our bottom our gifts. I want you to think about this like a triangle. We got our gifts at the bottom. We got our skills at our next level. Our level 3 is our perspective. And the top is our preferences. Our preferences that all should be incorporated into our offers to help us to have more contribution and therefore more value. So our preferences are established by our development. So at our first level was the innate experience of our gifts. Our next is what we've learned and what we've earned. Our next is our environment. And our top level is our development. So how we develop over time. So I don't know about y'all, but as a mature person, as I've gone through life, I've just developed preferences and tastes and palates, and that will then inform how I deliver an offer because I want the best. I want you to have the best. Because I like good ingredients, I want you to have good ingredients. Because I like good experiences, I want you to have good experiences. And this will all compound to create our contributing value. Now, where most people mess up with their contributing values in our 4 levels of our contributing value is that they don't know how to apply these things. They don't know how to apply their levels to an offer. They can only see their skills being used one way. They have a limited field of vision. They've disconnected with how these things become relevant to the marketplace, and therefore they are disabled and disengaged when they should be able to tap into a marketplace and see their money come back to them, sometimes immediately. Listen, when this happens, when you cannot see your skills, when you cannot see your gifts, when you don't respect your perspectives, you have no choice but to misuse what God packaged to fill the environment. So it's taking us right back. Remember our foundation and our feeling. I'm going to say it again. If you hear me, just go ahead and send some hearts in the chat. Tap it, tap it, tap it, and let me know. Let me know that you're with me. When you cannot see yourself, your value, your gifts, your perspective, when you don't see them as valuable, when you don't understand how to apply them, you have no choice but to misuse what God packaged to fill this environment. So if you think there's an accident that you are alive right now, you have it, gravely mistaken. If you think that the problems that you solve just exist so that they can exist and you are not supposed to be a responder to it, you have this thing sorely mistaken. If you don't think if God can, oh my gosh, if you understand the nature of God and you understand that God is so meticulous in activating everything. Literally, I always think about like what's happening behind the creation story. I'm thinking about the void. I'm thinking about the stars. I'm thinking about traveling light. I'm thinking about how preceding events had to happen before Earth could even be Earth, and the impacts and all those different things. All of those things happened so that you could exist at this point in time. Do you think that all those intricacies could happen and that your presence on the earth right now is accidental? I think not. But you have to find yourself significant in the system. I'm going to say it again. You must find yourself significant within this system. And when you do, and you recognize what you are called to do, you will fill your environment with good. If you don't fill your environment with good, or if you don't fill your environment at all, there is no good to be had. No good equals no response. No good equals no response. Why? Because contribution is what triggers compensation. So this has been our first lesson inside of the Good to Sell series. Listen, I don't know what you need to do. This thing is going to be here for just a while, okay? So you make sure if you need to come back and do this thing that you do this thing. But if you don't do nothing else, if you don't do nothing, I want you to ask yourself this question today. How am I feeling my environment? How am I feeling my environment? Where is my area of innovation? Where is my area of innovation? And how am I applying the 4 levels of unique contributing value? My gifts, my skills, my perspective, and my preferences. Don't you know that just applying your preferences can make your offer so much more valuable? Because if your preference is to walk into a room, let me tell y'all something. Where I'm going on New Year's, the basic entry ticket costs $170. We're not even getting into VIP. But somebody who created that environment said, I have a preference for opulence. I want the best in this space. I want the best people in this space. I want the best champagne in this space. I want the best hors d'oeuvres in this space. And because I have this preference for opulence, that opulence commands a ticket price that others may not ever be able to compete with. Listen, y'all not hearing me. You're disregarding your preferences and your cares and your likes when that should be applied to your offer. And that applying it to your offer will trigger contribution. And that contribution will trigger compensation. Wow. Yeah, I hope you heard me, okay? Because that was on the way out. Now, once again, there is the link for the Good to Sell calls. Let me go over this one more time because I saw that there were questions about Born to Sell. There were questions about the calls. I at least saw one question about Born to Sell. For those of you that are coming into Born to Sell, okay? For those of you that are coming into Born to Sell, and you know that that is the space for you. You refuse to go into 2025 looking for your right offer. Okay. But you want to start it. Sure. You want to start contributing. You want to be like you literally are. You I keep saying the word refuse because it's just something about knowing that you are that person, knowing that you deserve more, knowing that there is more for you to do, and you need to have your offer structured for you. We have our offer build outs happening inside the Born to Sell Intensive. I'm going to tell you now, you come into that space, you will not leave that place the way you came in. We're doing 6 weeks together starting on January 20th to take you through the 4 moves that will take your offer from shaky to sure. In fact, I'm gonna say it's gonna take you from shaky to sure because you're going to be clear about your marketplace value. You're going to remember your God given gifts. You're going to understand how to demonstrate and to put your offer into the marketplace so that when you act, you're not stutter stepping, you're not going back and forth, but you are certain you're going to have your benefit points clear, your features clear, your highest aligned client clear, your unique selling proposition clear. I want you to be able to be in the marketplace bold, confident, standing in your space of innovation so that others can contribute to you and you can contribute to them. Okay. So, with that being said, you want to go ahead and click that call. Okay. Click that link right there to book a call with me. What I am doing, I have about 6 spaces tomorrow where I want to meet. Listen, I want to meet with those of you that are coming into that space so we can start building a relationship. So, a lot of people think that the work that I do is all about just pulling triggers and just doing the same 1-2 step. Listen, you will learn this when you get into the space that there are fundamentals that we cover with all offers to make sure that it is good to sell. However, okay? However, what you have to know is that we are building a relationship together. And I mentioned this before, and this is not an exaggeration. It absolutely costs between $5,000 and $30,000, depending upon what offering you come in to work with me one on one. Please understand that the space that Born to Sell has been curated to be is so that you can get your entry point to your next offer so that the next level of us working together makes sense. Some of you can't work with me at the $30,000 level because the offer that you have now cannot handle it. It doesn't demand it. But what I want to happen for us in 2025 as we step into it is that we're responding to the needs of our customers. We're selling offers that people actually want to buy. Hello, that we're making money and seeing good from the good that we're putting in the world, and not that we are sitting on our hands and wishing that somebody would give us value and attention, because that just feels too much like begging to me. You're too brilliant for that. You're too wonderful for that. You're too magnificent for that. And because you are all those things, I want you to be in the marketplace selling your good thing. Okay. So book the call. If you know you're coming, book the call. Listen, we're going to talk. We're going to get into your business. Jacqueline said, I'm coming. We're going to figure this thing out. And that's exactly the energy I'm going to meet you with. If you take an inch, I'm going to take an inch. Now, I used to say, if you take an inch, I'm going to take a mile. But then I recognized that some people, I took people too far and they weren't ready for the distance that we travel. So if you take an inch, I'm gonna take an inch, and we're gonna keep inching our way to get you where you need to be. Okay. Y'all, this has been fantastic. We're gonna be right back here tomorrow noon. Tomorrow noon, baby. Don't miss it. We came in with a bang here on YouTube, and I appreciate you. Y'all, before you leave, make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you subscribe. This is, oh my God, like and subscribe. My child be like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Make sure that you send the signal out to YouTube that we're doing something good here. I'm going to be watching my metrics like crazy because I want to see, okay, what happens after this video, because I'm going to tell y'all this. You know, when people say I'm stepping out in obedience, I'm stepping out with obedience and strategy. So God gave me an instructive. There was a pushing and prompting in my spirit. And I didn't just come out here winging it. I took everything that I've learned over time and said, you know, how can we make this a best first experience that we can? And that's exactly what happened in this space. So I'm going to be paying attention to the numbers, okay? I'm going to be paying attention to what is coming back, but I can already see that this is a space that is going to serve us well. Y'all, I love you so much. If this is the first time you being in this space and you're watching this video on replay, yeah, that's right. I love you so much. This is our community. I love you. I mean it. Until the next time, peace out, y'all.